All right, folks, listen, this is a live stream. And in this video, okay, first of all, let me say this. In the future, in the very near future, I'm going to have some incredible information coming out, okay? But just give me some time to get it together. And because I need to make it fluid, and understandable. Anyway, so in this video, it's mainly going to surround Trump, but I have two predictions that on June 11th there's going to be a spectacular event in the state of Washington. So you have to get out of Washington before June 11th, okay? This is going to be a world-changing event that's going to happen on June 11th in the state of Washington. Get out, especially all of the west side of Washington, okay? And that's next year on June 11th. Now, I have the other prediction is Trump's going to get his head wound on August 4th. I'm 100% about August 4th. I'm just not sure if it's this year or next year, but most likely this year. August 4th, Trump gets his head wound, and I'm 99% sure it's going to be in Ohio. But that one I can, back off of a little bit, but I'm still, 99% sure it's going to be Ohio. But the date, August 4th, is 100%. It has to happen on August 4th, okay? Trump's head wound. And yes, it's Obama's birthday. I know that. Of course I know that. And that's why Obama was president before Trump. Okay, it's all predictive programming. Anyway, so I told you guys that whatever connects to 611 usually connects to 64. I mean, whatever connects to 611 connects to my other prediction, okay? And whatever connects to Trump is going to connect to Elvis, because Elvis had an identical twin that died at birth, and that's why the Twin Towers fell. It's all a ritual for Elvis, because everything connected to Elvis is death and destruction. And Trump is the replacement twin for Elvis's identical twin that died at birth, because Elvis is the Antichrist, Trump is the image of the Antichrist, and Trump is the Antichrist in the flesh, because they're mocking God. Do you not understand that? Because Jesus was God in the flesh, okay? And that's why they're mocking, because it's like the Father in heaven and Jesus being God in the flesh, okay? And that's why you have Trump being, being the God in the flesh, get it? And Elvis being the unseen God in heaven. That's what they're doing, okay? And anyway, so let's move on. So like I said, everything, you'll see how it all connects to each other in a moment, all this. So just be patient and listen to the information, and you will begin to understand that these are not coincidences, okay? So let's go. First of all, you remember I told you that the square root, first of all, who cares what a square root is? I don't even care. But to mathematicians and all that other stuff, all these connections mean something, all right? Like the prime numbers, like geometry and all this other stuff, it means something to these people, okay? Because whatever numbers make their magic work, that's what they want, all right? Anyway, the square root of 611, because that's the day I'm telling you Washington State gets struck, is 24.7. So the very first time you see these three numbers in a sequence straight is at 611, okay? And I've told you guys why 247 is so important, because America was founded in 1776 on July 4th, and its current age right now is 247, and it's going to be 248 on July 4th this year. So it's in between 247 and 248 right now, okay? And remember, I just told you that the 611 was 247, but obviously they're not going for the 247 because 611 already passed. But it's going to be on the next one, which is the 248 connection. But I'm just showing you right now why the 247, 248 is so important. First of all, my birthday is on the 247, 248 day of the year because it was on a leap year. Okay, 9/4, which land on the 9/5 day because it was a leap year. So my birthday connects to the America's age of 247, 248, which of course would connect to the 9/4 and 9/5 because that's the 247, 248 day of the year, which is my birthday. And of course, the reason I bring it up is because Elvis, from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 is 247, 248 days on the leap year. Okay? So it's everything about death and destruction comes to around this 247, 248 time period, okay? So now let's move on. You just pay attention. It gets better. Right now I'm just laying the groundwork for this for what I'm about to show you. So I told you guys that the word perfect equals the exact same as the word kingdom. Forward, backward, reduce, every number equals the same. I just didn't put it all there. But the word perfect equals kingdom. And because God's kingdom is perfect, right? And what makes this word so perfect is the fact that it looks like the letters EL. 7337 looks like the letters EL. EL means God in Hebrew, okay? And that's why it's so important. And I want you to notice that the 12th prime number is 37. Pay attention to the 12 right now, okay? 12th prime number is 37, which looks like the letters EL, which has the connection to the perfect, okay? So 12th equals 37. So whenever you see 12th, understand why it's important. You don't have to memorize this because I'm about to show each card individually, but I'm about to show you all the connections to this 12 before I show you the square root equations. Okay, so if you add all the numbers between 1 through 12, it equals 78. Remember, I just told you the 12 connects to the EL because the 12th prime number is 37. And the 37 is the EL connection. So if you add all the numbers between 1 through 12, it's 78. And Trump's age is 78 right now, okay? Now, and how you know this is not just a coincidence and that it's important is because, see, if you add all the prime numbers between 1 through 12, you get 197. And the 45th prime is 197. And Trump is the 45th president. You see? So I just connected. If you just add all the numbers between 1 through 12, just adding numbers, not prime numbers, it equals 78. Trump's age is 78. You add all the prime numbers between 1 through 12, you get 197. Okay? So the prime numbers are like, one, the first prime number is 2, then 3, then 5, 7. You see what I'm saying? You just keep going. And the 12th, if you add all the 12 prime numbers, the first 12, you get 197. 45th prime number is 197. So it connects to the 45, the 197. That's my point. And it connects to the 12, which is the EL. Trump's age is 78 right now. And add all numbers between 1 through 12, you get 78. Okay? And the fact that the 45th prime number is 197, and I just told you all the prime numbers between 1 through 12 is 197. 197 is so important because it also connects to my prediction of Trump getting his head won on 8-4. The 8th prime number is 19. The 4th prime number is 7. 197, you see? And then if you take the 19 and the 7, 19th prime number is 67. 7th prime number is 17. You get 84. See how everything connects to Trump and the 8-4 and the 45? All right? And I told you everything connects to me, right? I mean, not just to me, just to the, my birthday. If you take the Elvis's birthday, 1-8, and the 9 and 4, my birthday, look, you get 1 through 12, basically. 1, 0, 12. 0 is like through. 1 through 12. 1, 0, 12. Not 10, 12, but you know what I mean. 1 through 12. That's what I'm trying to show you. All right. Anyway, before I move on, I just want to make sure that you guys understood that. Is there anybody here who didn't understand that? Because, yes, that equation that you're showing is significant about what the, multiplying, yeah. But is anyone here not understanding that before I move on? I know it's kind of difficult to, follow along because I'm not only going too fast, but I'm saying so much, Did we understand that so far? Let me just put these together real quick. Yes, that's right. Good comments. That's right. Yep. Anyway, so I guess nobody has any issues here. Everyone understood that, assumingly. Okay, now we're going to get back to the square root connections, and you'll see why all of this is important. Because I told you they use every possible way they can break this code. Because I told you they're trying to break in or break out of this matrix. Okay, it's forget about breaking in. They're trying to break out. All right. Hold on. No, June 11th is the Washington State event. August 4th is the Trump headwind. June 11th event is next year. The August 4th event can still happen this year, which is Trump's headwind. But the June 11th event is in Washington State. But you got to get to Washington State before June 11th. But Trump's headwind is August 4th. Now, so let's get back to what I was saying. Remember what I told you, that every time you see the 12, that means the EL, because the 12th prime is 37. 37 looks like the letters EL. EL means God in Hebrew. That's why L, this, okay? And the this means 666. You know what I mean? You got to hear, you got to understand, you got to watch my videos to understand. Anyway, so let's get back to it. So remember, every time you see a 12, it's the EL connection. So look at this. So June 11th on a regular year is the 162nd day of the year. On a leap year, it's the 163rd day. So what is the chances that that the 162, 163 has the 12? The very first time you see 12.7 is at 162 and 163. That's the first two times you see it right here, 162, 163, 127. The very first time. Okay, and why am I showing you that? Because let me show you why 127 is so important. Okay, first of all, 12 times 7 equals 84, and that's my other prediction. So remember, we're talking about June 11th being the 162nd, 163rd day. The first time you see square roots of 162, 163 is 12.7, 12.7. All right, so 12 times 7 equals 84, right? And remember, the 12 is the 37, right? And look, see, the 12th prime is 37. The 7th prime is 17. That's the word EL. EL equals 1737 backwards. 17 forward, 37 backwards. So EL is the 12-7. And L this, I told you, Okay. So that's why I'm trying to make you understand the fact that June 11th has the connection to the 12.7, and it's the very first time you see those numbers, 12-7 in a row. The very first time in the square root sequence, that's the first time you see it. Okay. Anyway, so understand that the 12th prime number is 37, which connects to the EL, because it looks like the letters EL, the 3 and 7, which means God in Hebrew, right? Now watch this. So remember, every time you see the 12, now, when is Trump's birthday? 6/14. When is Trump going to get his head wound? On 8/4, but it lands on 8/5 because it's a leap year. Look. The 165th day of the year is Trump's birthday, 166 on a leap year. So this year is 165, 166, you see? Look at this. The square root of 165 is 12.7. 12.845. Okay, I'm not putting all the other numbers because there's a bunch of numbers after. I'm only putting the relevant numbers, the first three. So it's 12.845 and then a bunch of other numbers. But 166 is 12.884 with a crown. You see what I'm saying? Like, what is the chance that Trump's birthday has 12, because which is the 37, remember the EL. So it's basically L845. L means God. You have the 845. He gets his head one on 845, comes back 4 days later. You get what I'm saying? On 8-8, because he's going to resurrect, right? Whatever. You know what I mean? Just all I know is that he gets his head one on 8-4. Are you understanding? Is anyone not understanding that before I move on? Does anyone understand the importance of what I just showed there? I got to make sure you guys understood the importance of that. Did anyone get the importance of that? Yeah, I guess not. It's like, yeah, but man, I don't get it, man. You guys understand? Do you understand how crazy that is, what I'm showing you? The very first time that it comes to the 8-4, that you see the number sequence, the 1-2, which is the 37, get it? 12 prime is 37, but the 8-4-5 is at exactly Trump's birthday. All right, I give up. I was trying to. You guys are like, you guys are a bunch of dead fish in the chat here, man. It's like, is anyone out there, McFly? Anybody out there? You guys are just. It's like, man, I don't even know why I bother with these videos, man. Anyway, the square root. Check this out. The square root of 84 is 9.165. And how can we make it connect even better? Look at this. What's in between the 4 and the 9? You have the 5. So the 8, 4, 5, 9. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have the 8, and then you have the 4 and 5 in the middle, which, Trump is the 45th president. But remember, I told you he's going to get his head one on 8-4, but it's a leap year. It's 8-4-5. Then it comes to the 9, and then it's Trump's birthday, the 165. So the square root of 84, get it? And then you have the 5 right here. 4 plus 5 is 9, get it? That's what's in between the 4 and the 9. And then 165. So that's another connection right there. Anyway, so anyway, I'm just gonna keep going. You guys can do whatever the hell you want in the chat. So Trump's head, when I told you, is going to be on the 216, 217 day of the year because it's a leap year. Trump's birthday is 614. Look, the square root of 216 is 14.6. That's Trump's birthday backwards. Look, 614, 614. You could say the date backwards, 14.6, and it's at the 216. Square root of 216 is 14.6. You see? All right, that's another one right there. And 6 times 14 equals 84. You know what I mean? That's, it's same thing again. It's all connected. Trump's birthday connects directly to 8-4, And remember I was showing you that earlier, this connection to the 9, that 9 right there. The square root of 84 hits that 9, then it hits Trump's birthday, 165. Because look, 1 through 9, if you add up all the numbers 1 through 9, you get 45, you see? And that's my birthday connection, again, 945. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that the 9 is the crown, okay? And that's why Elvis needs that 9, but I'm not going to explain it here, but just, for the people who've been watching my videos, I'm talking about. But, oh, well, here, I'll show it to you here. Because See, August, when Trump's going to get his head went on 8-4, you know, Obama, he was the president before Trump, right? And he was born on 8-4, and he was the 44th president. And the fourth number down in August is 44, because August is the 8th month, and 12 months later it'd be the 20th month, 12 months later it'd be the 32nd month, 12 months later it'd be the 44th month. So 8-4 is 44, and Obama was the 44th, but so was Trump. Trump is the 44th person to become president. Obama's the 44th president to take office, but he's the 43rd person. But anyway, so Trump is the 44-45, and that's why he needs my birthday. My birthday is 9-4, which is the 45. See, I'm connected to the 9-4-5. You understand? That's what this whole thing's about. You know, it's connecting to the 44-45. Okay. Just keep watching. It gets better. So remember, Trump is the 44-45, right? Trump is the 44th person. Trump is the 45th president to take office. Okay? Obama is the 44th president, but he was the 43rd person to take office. He was born on August 4th, Obama. That's why Trump is going to get his head wound on Obama's birthday, and Trump's going to become the Obamination. Trump is the abomination. But that's the whole, it's complete mockery what they're doing here. Anyway, so Trump is the 44-45, right? And I told you MLK, he was killed on 4-4, but it landed on the 4-5 day because it was a leap year, and it's all connected to the 94-95 because he was the 94-95 day of the year. On a leap year, it was the 95th day. Get it? And normally 4-5 would be the 95th day if it wasn't a leap year. But because it was a leap year, 4-4 was. So that's why it's the 44-45. Okay? MLK was killed on 4-4, but it was on the 4-5. Just like my birthday is 9-4, but it lands on the 9-5 day. That's why I'm connected to both, because of the leap year. So I'm the 9-4-5, and that's the same thing here. MLK was killed on the 9-4-5 day of the year. Get it? 94-95. And MLK is connected to the 4-4-4-5, right? Which is what he was killed. And MLK was killed in Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis lived and died. And Elvis was known as the King. Martin Luther King dies where Elvis lived, Memphis, Tennessee. Now Seattle is named after Martin Luther King. King County. Seattle's in King County, named after Martin Luther King now. It was named after a different king. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to do exactly what they supposedly did in that ritual. That's the point. Okay? Anyway, everything's about the 44-45. The square root of 44 is 6.6. The square root of 45 is 6.7. Okay, so there's your sixes. Look at that. See, and Elvis, his name equals 67, and his twin equals 67. Jesse. And that's why from Elvis's birthday to 9/11, the 247 days was 67.67%, because it's the Elvis and Jesse. Because Elvis equals 67, Jesse, Jessie equals 67. So anyway, the point is that it was the 44 square root, 45 is 6.6, 6.7. Then if you put the two together, 44, 45, you get 66.67. It matches exactly to the 44, 45, 6.6, 6.7. Then you put them together, it adds up perfectly. By the way, there's a bunch of numbers after. I'm just giving you the most relevant first numbers, that were in a row. And Trump, he's the 45th president, right? So Trump is the 45th president, right? And how old is Trump right now? He's 78. So 45th president, 78 years old. If you do 45, 78 square root, the square root of 4578, it equals 67.66. Look what just happened. It went backwards. Look, 44, 45 is 66.67. 4578 is 67.66. You see that? It's the same numbers, but they switched it. So again, connecting to Trump, you know what I mean? Okay. And now, if you put all of that together, look, now I put it together 44, 45, 78. Trump's age, and he's the 44, 45 president. Look, 666.7. You see that? And look, you even have some more sixes after. See, I put the whole number there this time for you to see what I'm talking about. There's a bunch of numbers after, but these are the first four numbers that are relevant. Okay, is there anyone here who's not getting what I'm showing? I'm trying to show you the how things are not. But wait, it gets crazier. I'm trying to show you that it's not a coincidence. Okay, these connections. All right. Give me a second here. Here's one that I'm not too crazy about. This one, I'm just going to throw it in there since I was talking about 666s. Like I said, this one's not a big deal. This might actually confuse people a little bit. Elvis's age this year is 89. Trump's age is 78. Trump was born on 6/14. 8/4 is when he gets his head wound. 8/04, whatever. You could say 8/04 or 8/4, whatever. But the square root of 614 with a crown, because the crown is the letter O, but 6140, the square root of 6140, which is Trump's birthday with a crown, is 78.3. If you put the W as the crown, like I told you, the 3 is the crown, 78. See, the O is a crown too. So the W, 78, that's crowning Trump's age right now. That's the point, okay? And then if you crown on 804, you put a crown, it's 89.666 with a crown. So I was just showing you, it was kind of interesting, the 89 and 78 connections with Trump's birthday with a crown and 8/4 with a crown, you see? I just thought that was interesting. Again, no big deal on that. Trump, his birthday on a leap year, is 166th day, but it still connects to the 165, which is the normal. Because if you don't add the days, 165. So I wrote 165 and then a 6. It didn't really match up to anything, but if you put the square root of 166 and 5, because remember it's 166 or 165 the day, his birthday, you know what I mean? On a leap year, it's 165, 166. But I wrote it 166 on top and then 165. Get it? 166, 165. It's 408, 804. Look at that. 408, 804. See, in the UK, they say the date's 408. We say 804. I'm just saying that's pretty interesting. It connects to the amount of days on Trump's birthday. That's on it. And it connects to the head wound day, 8/4. And I told you he comes back 4 days later. So if it's 4/8, which is the way they say it in UK, 8/4, then 4 days later. By the way, when I say he's coming back, understand that what I'm saying is that they're going to proclaim Trump is dead on August 4th. Now, how much longer are they going to wait before they say, hey, he has a heartbeat and they found a heartbeat, but it's faint, blah, blah, blah. He's in critical, you know what I mean? They're going to play it up. And then somehow 4 days later, he opens his eyes. That's what I'm saying. Okay? Anyway, okay, so that's that. Let me just show this last before we get into the better stuff. But I mean, it's been good stuff so far, but I'm just saying. So if you put the square root of 614, which is Trump's birthday, then 845, which is the day he gets his head wound, because it's going to be 8/4, but it lands on the 8/5 day. Plus, he's the 45th president. You see that? Anyway, it's 784, and then a bunch of other stuff after that. But I just thought it was interesting that it was 784 because Trump's age is 78, and he's going to get his head wound on 8-4. You see how, you know what I mean? The square root is 614,845 is 784. All right. So that's another connection there. Now, here's where it gets a little more interesting. Okay. Yes, exactly. I didn't want to get into all the explanation of it, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so here it goes. So oh, I'm about ready to lose it, man. Trying to explain all this, folks. All right, so you know that Trump, he's going to get his head wound on August 4th, which is the 217th day on a leap year. Trump was elected president in 2016, and his first day in office was in 2017. Okay, so it's 216, 217 for the day, August 4th, when he gets his head wound. Okay, and Trump's age when he was elected, he was 70 years old. Trump's age on his first day as presidency was 70 years old. So he was 70 when he was elected, and when he became president, he was 70, right? And how old is Trump right now? How old is Trump?
Donald Trump is 78 years old.
So he's 78, but when he became president, he was 70, right? What is 70 plus 71 plus 72 plus 73 plus 74 plus 75 plus 76 plus 77 plus 78?
The answer is 666.
So in between 70 and 78, if you add up the numbers, between 70 through 78, you get 666, okay? And that's how old he was when he first started, and that's how, when he got into presidency. And by the way, the first day he became president, at the age of 70, when he became president, he was 70 years old, 7 months, 7 days. That exact day. 70 years old, 70 months, 70 years old, 7 months, 7 days. Okay? So he had the 777 connection in his thing on the day he was. But anyway, so from the day he became president to right now, he's 666. You know what I mean? If you add up all the numbers. That's the whole point, okay? Now, oh, and by the way, I told you just now, between 70 and 78 is the 666, right? And that's how old Trump was when he became president, 70, and right now 78, right? Look, the square root of 7078 is 84. See that? He was 70 when he became president, 78 right now, 84. Then you have a 1, 3, a 0, and an 8, 5. Look at that. What's in between? You have the EL. E and L. It looks like an E and a small L. You have 840, 850, 2 crowns, and 8485. Look at that. Are you guys understanding what I'm showing there? Because I told you, anytime you see the 3, anything that looks like a 3 looks like an E, and the L's look like a small L, or 1 looks like an L. You know what I mean? Or 7 looks like an L. Man, I'm not feeling good. Did anyone understand that? I believe he can't resurrect on the same day. Look, could it happen? Yeah, but I believe they're going to be just mocking exactly what God did. He's going to come back 3 or 4 days later. Either he's going to come back on the 3rd day or the 4th day. Either 8-7 or 8-8. Okay? Either he's going to be like Jesus and resurrect after 3 days, or be like Lazarus when Jesus rose Lazarus from the dead after 4. Okay. Anyway, so that's the connection, like I said, from, because of he was 70 when he was elected, 70 when he was elected and became president, 70. And 78 right now, and then you have the 8-4 when he gets his head wound. Okay. And And I told you that the 3 and the O is a crown because the 3 looks like a W. So check this out. He became president at 70. The square root of 70 is 8.3666. So technically it's, if you rounded it off, it would be 8.4 technically, but it doesn't matter. 8 point, then you have the 3. So you have an O and a 3 in between the 7 and 8, because Trump is 78 years old. Remember, he was 70. Then 8 years later, 78. Get it? If you you can make it a crown on a head. 78. The W is the 3. The O is a face, a head, a ring. It could be, whatever a circle represents. I'm saying it represents a crown, but it could be a head, a face, a ring, egg, birthing, But anyway, you have a 666 in there too, So it's a crown on the 666 also, whatever. Because I just told you that 70 through 78. What am I doing? Yeah, 70 and then up to the 8. Get it? 70 through 78 was the 666, and you get a crown. So that's it. Look, I'm just trying to show you the weird things there, or this one I can't really, you can figure out what you want on this one. The square root of 78, his age, is 8.8 with a crown, and the 88 is a big deal with, you put a crown on the 88. I told you if he comes back on 87 or 88, there's your crown, You see what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, it does. It looks like Frosty the Snowman. That's funny, because the word snow is the word hell backwards. So he is a hell man. That's funny. Someone said it looked like a snowman, the one I built, that thing I built a minute ago with the crowns. Anyway, and you know what? Hold on. Check this out. Yeah, I'm looking at what you wrote about what you Googled. That's interesting. Look at this. Look at Trump's name. Donald John Trump equals 185. And look, he's going to get his head one. Elvis was born on 1/8, and Trump's going to get his head one on 8/4, but it lands on the 8/5 day because it's a leap year. But look, Donald John Trump equals 185. If you just add up each letter, according to what they are in the alphabet, you just add them all up, it's 185. Look at this. The square root of 185, look what it is. 13, which looks like the E and the L, a small L, 6014. That's Trump's birthday. 614 with a crown. Look at that. I mean, what is the chance of that? So again, is this another coincidence? You're gonna tell me that's a coincidence? Is that a coincidence too? I'm just asking, is that a coincidence? Or how about this? How about this coincidence? Because I told you that Trump is the 44, 45 president, right? I forgot to show this earlier. I should have shown it. I forgot. So, Trump, look, Trump's born on 6/14. When using the calculator, because he was born on a regular year, not a leap year, from the first of the year to Trump's birthday, when you don't add the dates, 164 days. When you add the dates, 165. But on leap year, it's 166. But he wasn't born on a leap year, so pay attention. 164, the percentage is 44.93. When you Add the day, it's 165 is 45. So look at, so he's got the 44, 45. This is the first time the 45 hits at Trump's birthday. So you telling me that he ends up being the 45th president? You see? And his date is the 45. Again, I ask you, when is a coincidence not a coincidence? That's all I'm asking. You know, when you have to look at all the connections I've shown and ask yourself, when is a coincidence no longer a coincidence? Do you understand? Okay. Now, let's keep going. I only have these two stacks. It's not that much actually. It's very, so I should be done within 20 minutes here. No, I'm not erasing it. Just make sure you watch from the beginning. Don't watch it now. Someone's just coming into the chat. Anyone who got into the chat late, watch from the beginning. Okay, you have to. All right. All right. Yeah, exactly. Hold on. So remember, I told you what this is all about. Remember, America's age in 2024 went from 247, and it's going to turn 20. It's going to turn 248 years old on July 4th, and in 2025 it'll be 248 still, but 249 after my June 11th prediction. So the June 11th prediction still stays within the, you know, the 247 248 connection, because 949, because my birthday 9/4 is the 247 248, so it has to, I believe, stay in the 247 248 range. Okay, I'll explain that later, but oh, I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong one. Sorry, folks. So yeah, so I was showing you that America's age is 247 248 right now, right? It's going to be 248. I told you that in between Elvis's birthday, in between Elvis's birthday and 9/11 is 247 days, but on a leap year it would have been 248. Okay, so 247 248. By the way, this is 8 months 4 days, 247 days, 8 months 4 days, and that's the day Trump gets his head wound, 8/4. So another connection, you know, even to 9/11. You see. But anyway, 247, 248. That's what I'm trying to show you, because America's 247, 248 years old. And that's my birthday, 247, 248 day of the year, because I was born on a leap year. Okay? And which connects to the 9495, which I've been explaining to you this whole time. Now, speaking of 247, 248, check this out. The square root, the very first time I told you that 247 comes up, the very first time you see these three straight numbers is at 611. There's no 247 before you get to 611. 610, you would see 24.6. So the first time you see 247 is at 611. And the last time you see 247 is at 615. And Trump's birthday, 614, lands on 615 on a leap year. Okay? So the 166th day would be right here on a regular year, not a leap year. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that June 11th is the first time you see 247, and the last time you see it is at 615. And then what happens? You get to this. And what does this mean? This 248. So that means next year, I mean, not next year, but it's already here, 248. The 248 is here. So if Trump gets his head wound, okay, now pay attention. What it's saying is that it's like a reset. So if this is the last time 247 hits at Trump's, uh, you know, leap year birthday, 614 lands on 615. 24.8 is 616. And why is 616 important? Because what is the prime number for 616? Not the square root, the prime. What is the prime number? Is 4547. And that's Trump. See, 4547 he's going to be, right? The 616th prime is 4547. Are you understanding what I'm showing there? Does that make sense? You get what I'm saying? Because that's the 616 prime is the first time you see the 248, right? And And so it's like a reset. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Anyway, let me keep going. So anyway, remember I told you that 614 is the 24.7, which America's 247 right now, 247 years, but it's gonna be 248 very soon. But look, if you put a crown on it, it's 78.3. If you put a crown on Trump's birthday 614, you put a crown on it, you get 78.3. So that's the crown on the 78, and Trump's age is 78. Okay? That's all I'm saying there. Okay? And interesting that first of all, Elvis, he died in between 77 and 78 the year. He died at the age of 42, but in the year 77, in between 77 and 78. And Trump was 77 at the beginning of the year. He turned 78 this year on 614. Look at this. If you put 61477 or 61478, the square root of it, look, see, it's 247.945. There's that birthday connection, 945, and then 947. Look, it's the 4547. You see? So he went from 45 to the 47 when he turned 78, because that's Trump's birthday, 614, 78 years old. Are you getting what I'm showing? And I told you the 247 connection, but look, it's rounded off. It's actually 248 because it's all the way up at the 900. So this would be rounded off to 248 technically, but look, 4547. You see what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm showing you? Because that's Trump's birthday, 614, and he just turned 78. But at the beginning of the year, he was 77, you know? My goodness. And look, if you put 614 and 84, which is the day he gets his head wound, is 247.95 still. Because, it's still going to be that way. See, over here, look, it was 61478 because that's his age. It's at 947. Now it went up to 95, not 94. It was 95. So 24795. And I told you that the nine and it's 61484. And the square root of 95 is 9.7. That's the first time you see 9.7. And the next year is the 25th year. The 25th prime is 97. And 95 is the 248 day of the year on a normal year. I mean, the date 95, September 5th. 95 would be the 248 of the year. So that's why it's rounded off to 248. That's what I'm saying. That's square root. And of course, MLK was killed on, I told you, the 94, 95 day of the year. It's all connected, all right? I'm almost done, folks, almost. So remember, everything is about the 247, 248, because that's how old America is. That's how much days in between Elvis's birthday, 9/11, and I'm born on the 247, 248 day of the year. Like I said, America's age is 247, 248. Now look at this. And I've been showing you how it's all connected to Trump, right? Look, check this out. So Trump's born on 6/14, and he gets his head wound on 8/4. Check this out. The square root of 614, and then put a crown on Trump, and then 484. Listen, I'm just showing you what it came out to, because it was exactly the number 2478. See, there's no other numbers after it. It's exactly 2478. See, when you see me write exactly, that means it's exact. When you don't see me write exactly, that means that there's numbers behind it. So 2478. There's your 247, 248. You see what I'm saying here? And it's 614-084. And notice what do you have in the middle here? A 404. That's MLK's death date. So they connects to it, and you see, Obama was born in 61 on 8/4, and you have a 404 in the middle. But anyway, the point is that's Trump's birthday, 6/14, and then he gets his head wound on 4/8, which is 8/4. But you could say it 4/8 like they do in the UK, and then he comes back 4 days later, which is 8/8. But again, I'm just showing you that there's some connections to the 8/4 and 6/14 here, connecting to the 2/4/7/8 exactly. That's all I'm saying. All right. Yeah, like I said, on a regular year, from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 is 247, 248 days. and it's 8 months, 4 days. Hold on. So let me just show this real quick before I end this video. I have one more thing to show here. See, this is a leap year. I just want you to see, this is a leap year, see? So when you're adding the day from Elvis's birthday to September 11th on a leap year is 248. If you don't add the day, it's 247. And look, it's 8 months, 4 days. But if you don't add the day, it would be 8 months, 3 days. But on a regular year, it would be 246, 247. 247 days is 8 months, 4 days on a regular year. Okay. But the amount of days changed, 247 to 248. But anyway, so like I said, it's 247, 248 in between Elvis's birthday and 9/11. Anyway, so let me keep going here. So I just showed you this connection, right? And I'm showing the connection here is the 2/4/7/8, because I told you America's 247, 248, and that's my birthday, and that's America's age, and that's how many days in between Elvis's birthday, 9/11, and you have 6/14, Trump's birthday, you have the 8/4, and you have the 4/04, MLK, whatever, 8/4 is when Trump gets his head wound, 6/14, 8/4. Okay, now look at this. So if you use the whole Trump's birthday, look at this, 6/14, 1946. If you put that there, 6/14/1946, look, you get 2/4/7/8. Look. The reason I'm showing you this is because that don't think that everybody's birthday is going to work out that way. It's only going to work if your birthday is sometime in June. Okay, that's my point. So if your birthday's in June, that's when you're going to see this 2/4/7/8. Okay? That's the point I'm trying to make. The fact that it comes out to the 2/4/7/8 timeline, and that's Trump's age. Trump's age, look, Trump's age is 78 in the year 24. 2/4/7/8. America's age is 247, 248. Right? Trump's age is 78 in the year 24. And in between Elvis's birthday, 9/11, is 247, 248. And my birthday is the 247, 248 day of the year. Okay? I'm just trying to make you understand simple logic. And here's another connection. If you use Trump's birthday, 6/14, and the 8/4 with 2 crowns, you get 2/4/7/8 with 0.0 now. You get the crown right there. And by the way, remember I told you Trump's 78 in the year 24 right now, 78. But the word birthday is 8742. It's backwards, 8742. Birth, because they're going to resurrect. Okay, they're going to resurrect. It's the birth. Okay. Okay, I'm almost done here. I'm almost done. Yeah, I appreciate the people who are commenting about what I'm talking about. Anyway, remember earlier I was showing you that the first time you see the 247 in the sequence, remember, because we're talking about the 247, 248, the first time you see it is at 611, which is my prediction for Washington State, June 11th. And the last time you see it is, I mean, then 248 is at the 616 mark, right? And so why am I showing that? Because I just want you to see that how it how it connects to the 247, 248. Right now, watch this. So remember, I told you whenever you see me put exactly, that means that it's on the dot. Okay, there's no numbers behind it. Okay, so the square root of exactly the 247 would be this number, which really doesn't mean anything. I mean, it has some connections, but uh, look, you have the 247 exactly, and the exactly for the 248 is 61504. This one is, has some connections here. I'm not going to explain it here right now, but why am I showing this? I just want you to see because it's exactly. So that means 247 exactly, 248 exactly is these numbers, right? That's the exact number for the 247, 248. Now, by the way, I mean, I could show you something here. Uh, where the state Elvis was born in, Mississippi, is the 601 area code, and the place where he went to, Memphis, Tennessee's area code, his first area code was 901. So you have the 911 or 611, but you don't have 210. That's why I'm not counting it. So forget this thing. But anyway, what I'm trying to show you here is the 247 and 248. Now watch what is in between 247 and 248. Look at this. Because remember, I told you that in between 247 and 248 is 611. The very first time you see 247 in any sequence numbers of a square root, the first time you see a 2, a 4, and a 7 is at 611. The day I'm telling you Washington gets struck. Then the next time is 612, 613, 614. That's Trump's birthday. Still 247. And then Trump's birthday on a leap year falls on 615. That's the next time. That's the last time. So it stops right there. And then I just told you that 616, the prime number for 616 was 4547. And that's Trump being the 4547 president. But that's not why I'm showing you that. I'm showing you that it's in between 247, 248, connects everything to 611 to Trump. Because Trump's the last 614, lands on 615 on leap year, right? His birthday. So that's in between. Everything's Trump. So what's in between 247 and 248? The beginning of 247, because it's exactly, and the beginning of 248, which is exactly, right? Look at this. If you add up the number, here, let me show you. If you add up the numbers, look. If you add up what numbers are in between 247 and 248, because that was the exact number for 247 and 248, what do you need to get to this one from that one? You need 495. First of all, there's those numbers again, the 9495. That's, my birthday and all the other connections, right? Now watch this, 495, right? Look, Trump's birthday is 614. So from the first of the year to 614 is 164 days. If you add the dates, 165 days. On a leap year, it's 165, 166. If you add all this up, it's 495. Look at that. You see? Do you get what I'm saying here? You see what I'm saying? In between the 247 and 248, right? And I was showing you that the 247 ends at the Trump connection, 614, 615 leap year. Okay. And if you still think that's a coincidence, remember my birthday is 247, 248 day of the year. That equals 495, which is what I was showing you here. You remember with this, the exact 247, 248, with this connection, 247, 248 is 495. See what I'm saying? Elvis's birthday, the Twin Towers, the 495. America's age, 247, 248, 495. Are we clear? Are we clear on what I was trying to show here? Trump's birthday. All right. That's it. Did we All right, listen. Anyone who got in late, you got to watch from the beginning. I'm not doing the live stream tonight. I'm not feeling well. Everybody pray for me and watch from the beginning, and make sure you thumb up this video. Make sure you thumb up the video and comment under the video. All right? Comment under the video and also thumb up the video. Okay? Anyway, any last words? I'll stay on another 5 minutes. If anyone got in late, you gotta watch from the beginning, okay? There's a few, little parts that might be a little bit slow, but it's all worth watching. And by the way, like I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is like an 8, but there's some information that's like a 10, but my future videos, you'll see it's going to be off the charts. It's from a scale of 1 to 10, it's 100. All right. But anyway, anybody have anything else to say before we end the chat? Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks. Thank you. Like I said, yeah, please, pray for me. I'm not feeling well the last few days. Anyway, I think my blood pressure's acting up or something. But I'm taking my medication. Even though everyone will tell you the medication is making you sick too. But anyway, any last words, folks? Anyone have anything on their mind that they want to talk about for the next 5 minutes? I want to end the chat as quickly as possible. All right. Like I said, make sure you comment under the video. Make sure you thumb up the video. Yeah, end your conversations, folks, because I don't know what you guys are talking about in the chat. A couple of you guys are talking about stuff I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm not sure. Whatever comment, anyone who made a comment here, make sure you put it in the comment section if it's a comment you want me to see, because Right now I'm too distracted. I might not be getting what you're writing, so please write it, thoroughly in the comment section when my mind is more clear. Anyway, yeah. All right. A couple more minutes. Like I said, I want to keep it under an hour and 10 minutes. It's been an hour and 5 minutes, so any last words? Like I said, I haven't seen anything in the news that I could think of. I'm saying, I mean that seemed interesting to talk about. But I'm not doing a live stream tonight. Yeah, this is gonna be my last one for the day. All right, I don't see any more comments, so yeah. All right, 30 more seconds. Remember, comment under the video and thumb up the video. All right. 10 more seconds. I'll see you guys. Yeah. Yes. Comment and thumb up the video. I'll see you guys tomorrow at around noon. All right. In California time. Anyway, God bless all of you. Jesus is God. End of video.